The concept of inline function is that uh, if you call a function, suppose I have a function add, no matter whether the function is belonging or it is a normal function which is outside the class. Okay, let us imagine this is a function, and from my main, somewhere here in my main, I'm calling the function add, right? So generally what happens is whenever I call the function, the control is transferred to that function. The function gets executed and then control is shifted back in the main. After the function call, the statements after the function call start get executing. Okay. Now, if the control is being transferred and the function that we are executing has very less code. Okay. Suppose only one statement is to be executed, right? Suppose I am accepting A and B, and here there is just a return statement, return A plus B. So there's only one statement to be executed in this add function, right? But the time which is required to transfer the control over here is much greater than the time required to actually execute the body of this function, right? Try to get the point. The time which is required to transfer the control, it is much greater than the time required to execute these statements belonging to the function. So that becomes a overhead. This transfer of control becomes a overhead for me. So, in order to avoid this, what we will do, we'll use the keyword inline. If I use the keyword inline for any function like this, if I declare inline void add, then what happens is whenever the function is called from the main, instead of the control being transferred inside the to the respective function, the function's body is copied over here, right? So if it is having less number of lines to be executed, it's better to copy that line over here and get it executed than the control being transferred over here. Okay, so that is the concept of inline functions. Okay, so when a function is called from the main, the control is transferred to that function. If the function is small, then the switching time becomes a overhead for us. That means if the function body is small, the switching time from main function to that function is a overhead. So to avoid this, we will use or we will execute that particular function inline to our main program, right? So instead of the control being transferred, the compiler will replace the given function call with the definition of the inline function. And when this replacement will take place, it will take place at the compile time. So whenever the compiler will reach add functions call, it will replace it with the body. Again, whenever it is called later in the main function, again its body will be substituted in place of the call.